Not
Is
that,
that true?
no.
It's not true?
We have always said there would have to be an NDA because because he started that secrecy agreement process, we had to have those available. So that is not correct information. He knew he had to sign an NDA. He said it in his interview later on, and I think, Janet, you were at that interview with him. He said it then.
I've
We
never seen such a nasty fight going on in public, for lack of a better word, a fight between yourself and Mr. Farnworth. This is really quite something. Would you agree?
It's embarrassing. There is no way that we should be having this kind of dialogue. And if the province want to behave like this, I have tried to communicate with them in writing. I have left messages. I left a message as early as today for the Premier. They refuse to talk to me, and I'm unclear why. I don't know what to tell you, but it is no way to be acting.
Let me ask you this. If Mr. Farnworth directs you, the city council as well, to move ahead with the SPS, is there a plan in place to move ahead with the SPS? What happens if he directs the city to do that?
No, there's not a plan in place. That wasn't the decision we were making. I want to remind people, the Solicitor General, in the report that he gave us, in the redacted report, said there were two options for the city of Surrey. We just didn't choose the one he preferred. And
the reason that the minister hasn't received your report yet is because they haven't signed the NDA.
they signed them at 11:27. I mean, you know, I don't know what time it is exactly, but we're probably an hour in. I'm sure I'm sure city staff are working at it as we speak, but you know, let's talk about it. 1 working day. This is really, really.
But sorry.
Sure.
Why did the report not go to the province earlier? You're so confident that this report proves that the RCMP is a good option. The staff turned it in to you last Wednesday or whatever it is. Why not show it to the province?
Because it hadn't been, Francis, it hadn't been agreed to by our council. The report was not a report for the province. The report was a report for council, and it was the minister who was telling me, if you recall, about 5 weeks ago, hurry up and make a decision. We made that decision as fast as we possibly could. I called a special meeting, and I talked to him an hour before or 2 hours before that special meeting, and he told me to pull the vote. Don't vote today.
Mayor Locke, what is the plan if the minister directs the city to move ahead with the SPS, which he could do very well? What is the plan by you? What is the plan by the city if that happens?
Well, as I said, I haven't, I've only received the letter from the minister that he was going to react like this within the last 3 hours. So, you know.
It was last week that he did say that he would not agree to go ahead with the RCMP.
No, I never heard that. I'm sorry. I've never heard that. Why did he give us an option if that's his position? He gave us an option to pick his option.
No, the option was you could go with the RCMP if you met conditions and they
We-
needed a report.
Yes.
See if you met conditions.
No, he needed a vote to say.
No.
We have said, we have,
He said you could move ahead with the RCMP if you met provincial conditions.
right. And so that report, there's back. So that report was coming to council so they could take due consideration to the report that came on the 15th. That's what we had to vote on. That's what the council had to vote on in a closed meeting. That is our prerogative as a council. We have authorities too. as you all know, through the community charter, and we have responsibilities to do our due diligence. I didn't know.
Is the report that the province getting different from the report that you received to vote on?
No.
The same one? Okay.
Mayor Locke, is this possibly headed for court action? Is that where we're going here?
I don't know. I can't answer that right now.
Because he could very well come back, Mr. Farnworth, and say, the city has to move to the SPS. What are the city plans for that? There have to be plans. You had to know that was an option. So what is the plan?
Certainly the city knows we have our legal staff looking at this, and we have legal taking a look at where we sit. There's no question about that.
So it could possibly go to legal action? Is that what you're suggesting?
I can't answer that.
You said your city lawyers have been looking over things and trying to respond to the province over the last hour and a half. So when is a reasonable timeline, do you think, in terms of the province getting this information back?
Are you talking about the report?
Yeah, you said.
The report, they will have it today. They will have it probably before 1 or 2 o'clock today. They will have it. They signed the NDAs an hour at 11:27. So is it possible to give us more than an hour? Like, I want to remind you how long they took with all of their information.
You're ultimately
They've-
suggesting that the minister is lying, about this is lying.
About?
I mean, they were saying that they were trying to get the report on Friday, they were asking, saying that your staff.
They knew they had to sign non-disclosure agreements, secrecy agreements, because they set that path up.
You implied to the Surrey Now leader a couple hours ago, at least, given how the story was written, that the council might look at some sort of inquiry into provincial actions here. Can you elaborate on why you think that might happen and what exactly you would want to look at?
Well, I've been involved in this, as most of you know, for the last 4.5 years. There have been a number of things along the way where I would absolutely tell you due diligence has not been done. There is no question about it. There was no due diligence done from the beginning. There was no feasibility study. There was no impact study. There was no cost-benefit analysis. And if they want to talk about where the Surrey Police Service is going to get their staffing complement, they need only to look at what they've done at the past. They are going to have to, no question about it, go and take staff from municipal police forces, from other RCMP jurisdictions, and I think people should be very concerned about it, and I know, because I do talk to other municipal police mayors and councillors, they are concerned. They know how many people they lost with the last round. So that's a response to their ability to get up to about 600 additional, 550 additional police officers they have to hire. The RCMP have to get about 160, 170, something like that. And we know that we get 75 cadets out of depot. We know that is what is normal for Surrey. So we know we're not going to be interfering in what other jurisdictions are doing. Sorry, does that answer your question?
And a follow-up to Jana's point in terms of what the city's strategy is here, because we hear all the time that municipalities are the wards of the province. There's many, many court cases that ultimately come down on on judges saying that, look, provinces can choose what happens here and usurp municipal authority in almost any way they like. Why do you think that the city has a chance of holding on to the RCMP if the province becomes insistent that the SPS is the only way for Surrey to go?
I have been at this for 4.5 years. I can't figure one reason why. I can't get to why we're doing it. I can't find one good reason we would go with the Surrey Police Service. Not one. And if the minister can give me that, or the premier, and I can tell you, I've asked them, I haven't got that good reason why.
That wasn't an answer to that question. He was asking why you think the city can prevail when the law says the province is in charge.
Exactly.
because the province deemed that the police.
Thanks, Francis. I was trying to go there. It was taking me a bit of more time than you
Mayor
want.
Locke,
But no, let me just finish. Yeah, so my response is that I would expect, I would hope that a more reasonable person would exist in the Solicitor General. I would expect that a more reasonable person would exist with the Premier, that they wouldn't deem that running out and doing all their negotiations or their discussions or their anything is in the media. That is highly volatile. We could have had a conversation. He could have lifted the phone, and he hasn't. He has been a bully all the way through this, and this is just another example of that. That's what happened today. And I can't tell you, I'm still astonished that he would think that one day is reasonable.
So
Mr.
that
Farnworth
still
has
wasn't
been a
an
bully.
answer to the question. The question was, why do you think the city is going to be able to overrule the province?
No, I think he was asking what I thought. I thought
No,
I would,
no.
I would
Mr.
have,
Wilk said that he agrees with me. We want to know why you think the city can overrule the province. The
Just as a-
province-
because because it's clear in the Police Act that cities get to choose their police departments. That is
But
our
you know that the
responsibility.
province can overrule
Yes, they can, yes, I know they can overrule cities, but I would expect that with all of this, there would be a reasonable person. If you're asking me, do I think legally, I can't answer that. I haven't had that conversation with our legal team about that.
I guess what if he's not reasonable, right? We keep saying
Well,
that.
we're finding out they're not reasonable. That's the issue, isn't it?
Mayor Locke, you've used the word bullying to describe Mr. Farnworth.
Mm-hmm,
Embarrassing, fear-mongering.
mm-hmm.
I hate to ask this question, but I'm going to.
I'm sure you are.
Do you feel it's because you're a woman that you're being bullied, maybe? Does that come into it at all here?
You know, I'm just going to be straight up with you. I have worked in politics for a long time. I have worked in the liquor industry for a long time. I have never, ever used the gender card. But in this case, I absolutely think there is misogyny going on, no doubt in my mind. And actually, it's not just me. I've had many people reach out to me and say, he would have never treated Doug McCallum like this. And in fact, I would say that probably he was bullied by Doug McCallum, but that's just my position.
You're calling Mr. Farnworth a misogynist?
Well, he is towards me. He is towards me. That's obvious.
Mayor Locke, I know you're hurting by the province's attitude right now, and you are quite vocal about it. But one of your councillors also made the comment on Friday that the voting has been made in haste and it should be transparent. Now, policing is the method of public welfare. Don't you think that we expect, as a resident of Surrey, transparency both from the municipal and the provincial government? What is your opinion?
I absolutely agree we should have had transparency. But as soon as the Solicitor General required a non-disclosure agreement, that took a lot of that away. That made it more difficult. I am not today talking about the 15th. I am talking about today, so I'm much more available to answer
And
questions.
when do you expect that ministry will react to this report? That how long will it take? Like another 6 months, or it will be a quick reaction?
How long do I think the ministry will take?
Because as we've said, that the ministers have signed the NDA, or maybe the staff, to read the report and everything. How
Yeah.
long will it take?
You know, I honestly, I've given up trying to predict these guys.